we want to share with you something we've not done before. And that is that there is a great war which is coming, and very many of you already are convinced that that war is coming. And it will be the great war prophesied by our Prophet ﷺ. In this hadith, for example, which offers a timeline of events of Akhirul Zaman, I have quoted this hadith so many times that you are already familiar with it. I don't need to quote the Arabic anymore. That he said to his companion Mu'az ibn Jabal radiallahu ta'ala anhu, he said that when Jerusalem is center stage in the world, at that time Medina would be in forlorn desolation. I'm giving you the meaning of the Arabic text, not the exact translation. And when Medina is playing no role at all in world affairs, at that time the great war will take place. He calls it the Malhama. And we know from another hadith that 99 out of every 100 who fight in that war would be killed. And hence it has to be a war using weapons of mass destruction to kill 99% of combatants. There's never been a war like that in all of history. The Malhama has not as yet taken place. The Christians and the Jews call it Armageddon. And Armageddon has not as yet taken place. The only people who believe that the Great War has already taken place are people who should buy a ticket to Disneyland. Then he said that when the Great War takes place, and it kills 99% of combatants, he says, the next event after that, in one hadith after 7 months, the other hadith says after 7 years. We don't know which one is correct. That the next event after that would be the Fathul Constantinia, the conquest of Constantinople. And one of the reasons why the name Constantinople has now disappeared from language, the name Constantinople has now been consigned to the museums of history, is because of this prophecy, so that people would not remember, be conscious of the fact that there is a conquest of Constantinople coming. They change the name and they use an old name of Istanbul, but that will not help them, because the name Constantinople is now coming back. I am doing some of the work to restore that name, my scholarship. So then there is a conquest of Constantinople that is coming. I believe, and I hope I am wrong, I hope I am wrong. I believe that one of the reasons why they wanted Trump out of the presidency was, number one, they did not calculate that he would become president. They thought it would have been Hillary Clinton. And they bit their fingers in frustration when he became president, because she was a part of their team and he was an outsider. They didn't trust him. He could walk the extra mile. Yes, he could recognize Jerusalem as the capital of Israel. He could change and get the U.S. Embassy in Jerusalem. No other president ever did before him. He could do all of these things, and yet they did not trust him. Among the things that he did that they could not tolerate, he said CNN is fake news. CNN is fake news. I would say not just CNN, Al Jazeera as well, and all the rest of them. Fake news. So they did not trust him. And they did every dirty trick in the world to try to get rid of him. And in the end, they also had a fake elections. They cheated in the election. That's what he said, and I believe he's true. And so they got rid of him. You may have different views from me. It does not change the analysis. And now they have someone they trust who's a part of their team, Joe Biden, as president. But he's an old man. And there is the possibility that he may not survive for a second term. There's a possibility he might even die during a first term, and then this Kamala will become president. I don't think they want to wage a big war against Russia with Kamala as president. So my analysis, and you may differ with me, my analysis is it is more likely than not they would want to provoke the war with Russia. Of course, they don't want to take the blame for the war. So they'll provoke the war with Russia sometime during this presidency of Joe Biden. If I am correct, you have very few years left before the Great War takes place. I hope I am wrong. Let me say that again. I hope I am wrong. But if I am right, then this is the situation that we face. Within a few years, the Great War may take place. And if the Great War takes place, what will Turkey do? Because remember, the event which follows the Great War is connected with Turkey, the conquest of Constantinople. My analysis is that Turkey has been consistent in its profile in following the profile of the Ottoman Empire. If I am wrong, then tell me what is right. This Turkey is faithfully following the profile of the Ottoman Empire. And the Ottoman Empire waged endless wars on Russia. Russia was the eternal enemy. The Orthodox Christian world was the eternal enemy with which we must wage eternal jihad. If I am wrong, correct me. And so I expect, in fact, I am confident that when the Great War takes place, Turkey will fight faithfully with NATO. If I am wrong, I'm saying to you, come forward and correct me. Challenge me if you wish to, because this is the time that's come for the truth to be proclaimed. We don't have time anymore for wish-washing. We are now at a strategically located moment in history, and this is the time for the voice of truth to be proclaimed fearlessly and loudly, koi parwa nahi. So I am confident in my analysis that I am correct, that in that war which is coming, Turkey will fight with NATO against Russia. Good. What will be the consequence for Turkey? Answer: Turkey will be destroyed. Turkey cannot stand up to Russia. NATO will be defeated. If NATO will be defeated, and this is Surah Ar-Rahman of the Quran, Surah Ar-Rahman of the Quran, سَنَفْرُغُ لَكُمْ أَيُّهَا الثَّقَلَانِ, I'm going to deal with you, says Allah in the Quran, both of you, laden with sin. Who are the two? Ya ma'ashar al-jinni wal-ins. That's the answer. Ya ma'ashar al-jinni wal-ins. The world of people who are evil and the world of these demons who are evil, who are in league, in collaboration, in alliance with each other, the jinn. سَنَفْرُغُ لَكُمْ أَيُّهَا الثَّقَلَانِ. I am going to deal with both of you. And that's what's going to happen in the Great War. Allah will intervene in this Great War. And a Russia which is returning to her Orthodox Christian heart and a Russia which is sincerely trying to follow Jesus, Nabi Isa alayhi salam, will be helped by Allah, because Allah promised them 2 victories. He says that in Surah Ar-Rum, that there are 2 victories. Lillahi al-amr. Lillahi al-amr. It is Allah who decides. It is His authority which is supreme. Min qabl wa min ba'd. On both occasions, it is Allah's authority which will deliver victory to Rome. And Rome is Constantinople. You can do what you want. You can jump in the Red Sea if you want. You cannot challenge that. Rome is Constantinople. Get lost with your bogus jihad, your bogus scholarship. I'm telling you to your faces now, get lost with your bogus scholarship. Rome in the Quran is Constantinople. You can't change that. I'm sorry my voice has to be raised like this, and my words has to be like bullets, because they wouldn't listen to me. Their arrogant scholarship. They believe they're right. But the Quran gives knowledge. Supreme knowledge, supreme truth, absolute truth is in the Quran. And I'm inviting them to the Quran. I'm teaching the Quran to them. But they would not listen. That's their arrogance. Truth in the Quran will prevail. Allah has promised 2 victories to Rome, whether they like it or they don't. Allah has promised 2 victories to Rome, before and after. And before and after invites us to think the language. There must be something in between, in the context of which this is before and that is after. And I've offered an answer in my book. Which book? Constantinople in the Quran. I don't know whether anyone ever wrote a book on this subject before me. I don't know. Constantinople in the Quran. And I have never come across a book. But I have written this, thank Allah, Constantinople in the Quran. The first victory was in the time of Nabi Muhammad alayhi salatu wasalam. The Constantinople which was victorious in the time of the Prophet alayhi salatu wasalam, because of Allah's help, listen to me. It was a Constantinople which for the last 300 years was still believing in the Trinity. And for the last 300 years was worshipping Jesus as God and the Son of God. And yet Allah helped them. And yet they were victorious. And when they were victorious, we celebrated. Not only we, even Nabi Muhammad alayhi salatu wasalam celebrated. I know some of you are angry with Allah. I know some of you have more knowledge in your heads than Allah in the Quran. But you get lost. Get lost. You can't stand up in the way of truth. Truth will destroy you. Truth will throw you to the wilderness. And this is truth from the Quran. So you better listen to me now before it's too late for you.